Hello, everybody, and good evening. My name is Ashley Robertson. We'll get started here in just a minute. Just let a few people roll in here. But welcome to our January 31st San Antonio, Texas webinar. We're very excited to have y'all. Before we do get started too, I just want to remind everybody we will not be doing a live Q&A tonight, but I will be following up with everybody after the fact over the next couple of days, and there will also be a poll that is sent out at the end, so if you have any questions, please save it for that. We'll just give everybody another minute here. All right, we got a good little stream of people in, so I'm going to get us started here. Alrighty, guys. For those of you who don't know, I will start with a little intro on Marshall Reddick Real Estate and what we do as a company. First and foremost, we are a real estate brokerage. We specialize in primary and investment brokerage. That partners really, really seamlessly with our property management side. We do just about an equal amount of property management as well as brokerage. We also work as a private money lender. For those of you who don't know, private money lenders come in to play when somebody cannot qualify for a loan in a conventional sense. And then we also have an investment fund that we operate and manage here. I'm in our Newport office here with our folks, and I believe that's up to $42 million right now. It is a great investment opportunity for those accredited investors who are looking to diversify their portfolio a little bit. All of these things you can find under our website, marshallreddick.com. There's epic amounts of information down there for whoever would like to learn about that. This is me here. My name is Ashley Robertson. Like I said before, I have personally done about $22 million in direct volume outside of referrals and other advisement and leasing. I am a third generation realtor. My grandfather started a company called Main Street Real Estate and then sold that to Coldwell Banker in a very small tourist town in the mountains of California. So investment real estate, second homes are my go-to. It's what I've done my entire career in real estate. So I am a licensed California realtor, and I also work within Marshall Reddick as an advisor for all of our other out-of-state markets. Our markets here you can see, so the markets that are listed on this screen here within the green boxes are the areas where we actually have Marshall Reddick employees. We've got brick and mortar offices, boots on the ground, as we like to say, which I feel like in a San Antonio sort of webinar, that's a perfect analogy. The ones that are not boxed in green, you'll see there we have third-party affiliates. So throughout California, you can see the Bay Area all the way down to San Diego. We have Fort Myers, Florida, Clarksville, Tennessee, Nashville, Austin, Texas. We actually have Houston as well, which is not labeled here. That is our recent office there, New Braunfels, and of course, San Antonio. Part of how we break down how we like to choose where we invest and where we direct people to comes through these 6 things here. So the job market. We want to find job markets that are diverse economically so that, God forbid, there is some sort of economic crisis within one industry. It's not going to cripple the entire area. We want to find places that have high rental demand. Obviously, if there's a strong employment market, you're going to need people to have places to live. Economic diversity, that kind of is the all-encompassing of those first 2. Your housing affordability. Your housing in Newport Beach versus San Antonio is going to look a heck of a lot different. Housing affordability from an investor standpoint, to be able to come in and actually turn a profit in an area that's going to be stable and secure. Strong education, that brings in yet another leg to sort of structure this table that we like to build investment properties on, because it's going to add an extra bonus for strength and durability within the market. Reliable property management. As I said before, about 50% of what our business is also property management. So we like to go into places where we know definitively that you are going to have a great experience with your property managers. So if we know that there is strong property management there, we can confidently help you invest in that market. I would love to bring it in now, you guys. Christina is a San Antonio native, one of my favorite people in our company, and absolutely one of our top producers. So I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to let Christina take it over, and I hope you all enjoy, and you are just going to have the best time learning from her.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I really appreciate it. Yes, my name is Christina Doriat. I lived in San Antonio all my life, native, born here, grew up here, and I am a licensed Texas realtor. I've been in the business since 1999, was a loan officer for about 15 years, then decided to become an agent in 2014, and just been in the real estate business most of my life, and I love it. So I am married. My husband, he's military Air Force. I have 2 amazing kids, keeps me very busy. And I have been myself an investor. So, you know, we own investment properties as well as invested in the mortgage fund with Marshall Reddick Real Estate. I've closed over 250 deals so far since 2017. So yeah, it's been a fun ride so far with Marshall Reddick. So let me just go on here. And then we do have an office in San Antonio. It's a brick and mortar office. That's our team right there in front of our sign. So we have grown so much since we first started and opened our office years ago in 2017. We have grown so fast because the more properties we get, the more staff we get to support it. And it's just a big family. We just love going to the office, meeting with all the other team members and going to our team meetings. It's real fun. It's a big family and we love it. We also have an office in New Braunfels as well, brand new office there. And you can also look online. We have a lot of reviews. So you can go under our Google reviews as well as our Zillow reviews and get to see like the match the face to the email or name and get to see our team. And this is a map of San Antonio. It's a huge metroplex city. It's very big. It's been growing and growing super fast, especially these past 10 years. That map shows us all the properties that we manage. We're continuing to add more properties every day under management, whether it's new closings or people transferring from other companies to us, because we're getting very known in San Antonio and expanding out to New Braunfels and Austin. So we have a lot of growth and we definitely have the staff for it. So it's great. And this is just an overview about Texas. Texas is second highest population in the state, and it's been growing super fast. And a lot of businesses keep relocating to San Antonio. We're very landlord friendly. Texas, the whole state's landlord friendly. So the laws are a lot more favored for the homeowner. We also have lowest market default rate. Even through COVID, we had a very small percentage of people that were not able to make their payments. Minimal disaster zone. So we're pretty much located more inland in the state. So any type of hurricanes, it hardly affects us. We don't get that many tornadoes or anything like that or hurricanes. So we're pretty disaster zone free. And we have a diverse workforce. We're known as military city. So we have 3 military bases, Air Force and then the Army. And then that also includes government workers, IT jobs, corporate, financial institutions, and we have a huge medical presence. We have a lot of, it's like a little small mini Manhattan called the Medical Center that has so many hospitals and outpatient clinics. It's just so many diverse jobs, as well as our tourist industry. We still get a lot of tourism. People like to see the Riverwalk, come to Six Flags, SeaWorld. We have a lot of hotel industry here. So it's a good diverse workforce. And then Austin is not too far from us. It's only an hour away, but you do get some people that commute, because it is more affordable to live in San Antonio. So you'll get some people that might live in the northeast part of San Antonio and commute to Austin every morning, or they live in New Braunfels and then work in Austin. And New Braunfels is not that far from San Antonio. It's like 15 minutes from the major highway. And then here it just shows you the information about the price averages. San Antonio, New Braunfels, single family house, average price is right around 340,000. And it's not going down right now. A lot of people are thinking the prices are going to drop, everything's going to crash. The prices have been pretty stable. I've seen like a few price drops, but it's nothing major. It's like anywhere from 10 to 15,000. Not anything major, but that's still the average right now for a single family house. And then Austin is going to be a lot more pricier. It can be anywhere from 5 to 640,000. But Austin, they kind of, it seems like they're growing up now instead of out. So you're going to see more high rises in Austin and more tall and skinny properties. And then there's Dallas Fort Worth. The average is not too far from, actually, I think it's higher than San Antonio. So I would say it's more 370,000. And then Houston, we just got that market not too long ago. Houston is actually a little more affordable, around 272,000, but it can get real pricey depending on the area. But the cool thing is you get to see the price averages, San Antonio versus the other major cities like Austin, Dallas, and Houston. All very good stuff, good information. I'm actually going to introduce to you Gerard Kolodechek. He's our awesome agent in San Antonio, and he's also going to go over some information about San Antonio as well as some properties.
Hello, everybody, or Christina, should I say howdy? I know a lot of people still think that we ride horses to work and we follow the tumbleweeds, but it's a little bit more advanced out here in San Antonio. I read a great article over the weekend about a young lady that traveled to San Antonio for her first time, and she was pretty surprised to see that we weren't all riding horses out here, but she said she was pleasantly surprised. So my name is Gerard Kolodechek. I've been with Marshall Reddick 2 years. I've been a licensed realtor for 5 years. Former construction project manager and mortgage loan officer before I started doing real estate sales. I do have a bachelor's degree in accounting, happily married with 3 daughters, and just really excited. My wife and I are both investors as well. So we really enjoy being able to see what we do and learn from it, teach other people. We've got a couple properties where we renovate and hold. Some properties we just purchase and hold. So been really, really awesome. So next slide. Just going to talk a little bit about Austin. Let me go back there. Austin Greater versus San Antonio Greater. Both are great places to invest. As you saw on the slides earlier with Christina, quite a bit of difference on cost of entry of Austin versus San Antonio. Again, if we get a chance to talk to you, hopefully we do, we can sit there and talk about what's the best fit for you. We're just going to focus a little bit on San Antonio today and tell you a little bit of the high level differences. So San Antonio is the lowest cost index in the metro area in Texas. We do have the highest government, military, and veteran population in the country. As Christina mentioned earlier, we have 3 bases in San Antonio, and we're very fortunate for that. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons people are drawn to San Antonio is because we have these military bases. So we tend to have a lot of properties that are bought near and around the military bases because military renters are probably, in my opinion, some of the best renters that you can find. They come in on 3-year to 5-year orders, normally rent's paid on time. They take very good care of the houses. So we really, really try to cater to that. And as we have conversations and we're looking for properties, we have all of the zip codes plugged in these areas. We've done the homework for you. Like Christina mentioned, we're both, native San Antonians, and we understand the areas really, really well, all the little pockets of the good rental areas and why they're like that. So it's really, really great to have so much military presence in San Antonio. San Antonio Metro has the lowest tax rates. You get a lot of people that are always asking questions about the tax rates. We don't have a state tax here, so always great. And constantly, we just read an article today in the local news where our governor, Greg Abbott, is working on even bringing the property taxes down even further. So it's constant. We're constantly working on that over here. And as realtors, we work real closely with our buyers to make sure that they understand how the taxes work. Steady and positive appreciation markets in the last 30 years. I can't stress that anymore. If you look at the charts that we're going to see a little bit further down the line, you're going to see that San Antonio has just done really, really well of staying to right on an upward trend, not a lot of peaks and valleys. With some of this, I believe in the slide only goes back to 1997. As Christina and I get a chance to really start getting into the weeds of everything with you, we could go a little further back all the way to the late 80s, the crash of the 80s, 2007, 2008, where we were, economy was going down, challenges. San Antonio stayed very stable. So that's kind of one of the reasons I think a lot of people look towards San Antonio. There's so much here, but also we've been very steady, even in times like these, as Christina mentioned. We really have not seen these property values going down, but we haven't at this point seen people having to make offers so much above what we think the appraised value is going to come out. So the market's settling a little bit. But if you ask me, it's really not a buyer's market or a seller's market just yet. We're kind of right in the middle, and the market's kind of doing what we need it to do. It's just calming down a little bit. So both Austin and San Antonio are disaster resistant. Christina talked about that earlier. I've seen a hurricane hit right at the coastline, come right up at us. We got a lot of rain, had a good time, and our grass was green. That was about it. So we do stay pretty clear of any major disasters. It's a little cold out here today. We're not used to that because we're Texas, so but it's a little cold out here today, and nobody's driving, and it's not quite freezing at this point, so we take a lot of precautions here. Okay, next slide. Key San Antonio, Texas real estate market stats. Home values increased 19.4% over the last year, and everybody knows that across the board, anywhere in the United States, we did fantastic last year. So everybody says, hey, what's going to happen now? Again, going back to what Christina said, the market is doing very well. It's stabilizing, and we're seeing our values out here stabilize and still going up a little bit. So we've been very stable with that. Over the past 5 years, the home values in San Antonio have increased nearly 67%, according to Roofstock. I mean, it's just been fantastic. And again, we'll look at these trends. If you take a look at the chart right here, you're going to see pretty similar to what you saw, but pay attention to 2013 to 2021. And you see there, this is the market trend I'm talking about. In 2013, 2014, all the way up to 2021. Even before this time, there's a lot of markets that were still pretty volatile. They were peaks and valleys going up and down. And you just don't ever want to think about being in a market when it's at a down point. You have to sell for some reason. So that's why, again, I think people are pretty drawn to San Antonio. So here's some more statistics here. Median rent in San Antonio is about $1,850 a month for a 3-bedroom home, again, according to Roofstock. I feel that's very, very strong. I do agree with that. Rents have increased by 12% year over year with Roofstock as well. San Antonio is really hanging in there, doing a great job. So this is the chart I was referring to earlier. And when Christina and I have the opportunity to meet with somebody, this is part of what we talk about in our financial analysis that we create when we grab a property off the internet. We put it into our website. We put all the numbers in. It helps create charts like this. And a little bit about this on the first section there. Again, this only goes back to 97. It goes back even a little further, I think, on our website. But again, you'll see that upward trend. You're looking at 2007, 2008. If you look right above there, we were a little bit above the curve. We went a little bit below, but came right back up. And trust me, this is very, very stable. So I'm sure everybody's seen that. And you can look on the right side, all this data right here is what makes up this chart over here on the top left. So you can go through there and see '07 is when the market seemed to kind of go down. '08, '09, we recovered pretty well, jumped right back in the green, and stayed pretty positive. So below property classes, this is a little bit about like single family residence. It talks about how we classify some of these properties. They're luxury properties, A properties, B properties. That's really, really where we like to sit. That's really where we feel like our investors are going to benefit long term, is buying into these properties, luxury through B. We will consider some C properties, and again, that might be short-term gain, long-term, challenging. And that, what I mean by that is, you might buy an older property in an older area and you're getting these great cash flows, but then you have a lot of maintenance problems because it's an older building and maybe you have foundation problems that come out and things of that sort. We really, really try, especially myself having a construction background, really try and look at these properties and say, look, is this the right property that I want to put into our property management team, that I want them to manage? And since I am an investor, I think of it in the terms of, would I buy this property and would I feel comfortable holding this property for 15 years? So there's a lot of experience that comes in from us as investors and as being agents tied in with Marshall Reddick's brokerage, of thinking about, would I do this again? And does property management want it? This property, I heard our CEO was talking today and he was just like, why would you ever sell a property? We love hearing him talk. He's always making just getting us excited. He said, well, you would sell a property. He said, if it's not performing, and it's something maybe over time it's not performing, or you're doing a 1031 exchange to go into a deeper property. And again, those are conversations we can have. I don't want to go too much into that. Those are conversations we'll have together and talk about your long-term goals. But again, the idea is let's hold a property. So from the very beginning, we're thinking about that and saying, hey, if your plan is to hold this property 10 or 15 years, let's make sure we get a newer property. Let's make sure that when we go through that inspection report, that we really look for things that might cause long-term, maybe there's something in there long-term, like, this roof has been, maybe there's a roof that's been there 15 years. So we might think about, hey, 20 or 30 years, if it's a shingle roof, a composite roof, then you might say, well, we might need to think about, hey, and while we own this property, we may have to repair the roof. Those are all things that we're going to go through and think about. So this can be a very good long-term investment for you. So going in a little bit, if you want to find some more out about market research in our areas, our website is an amazing resource for a lot of things, but this is also a great resource for also finding out about market. We have market data packets that you can research. Just go to www.marshallreddick.com/market data and take a look at the different market data packets that we have. Feel free to look through them. Those are great to research. So by the time we get on the phone and we start talking about San Antonio, you may have some questions in there, some things that you want to ask us. It's always great when we get on the first phone call to do a virtual call and get on and just look at a map. And a lot of times people have different questions about different areas. Love doing that. So we could sit there and explain, these are the areas of town that we focus on. These are the areas of town that we feel have really good renters, or maybe this is an area of town by hospitals, maybe by entertainment. Christina was mentioning earlier, there's a lot of reasons to come to San Antonio, and people love the Riverwalk. Okay, so on to the next slide. We're going to talk about some of the handpicked investment property and Marshall Reddick investors that we're looking at right now. I pulled a couple properties today. I'm going to talk about some single family homes here, and let's look at a financial calculator and talk about it. So here's one. This is a brand new single family build. The builder is D.R. Horton. You probably heard of them. They're a national tract builder. And let's talk about this. Let's look at, this is a brand new construction home. On the left side, about halfway down there, it's going to give some details about, this is considered a B-class house in the San Antonio market. built in 2022. The lot size is 5,227 square feet, 1,535 square feet for living area. Price per square foot, $179.12, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So again, this is new construction. This is always a good topic and ways to, you know, start looking at properties, because automatically you think, well, it comes with a builder warranty. You know, you try and keep those maintenance costs down. You don't have to worry about, you know, as much. And if things happen in, you know, within the warranty period, our property management team is trained that before they go and start talking to you about spending any money, that they go, and if it's anything that should be on the builder, we work directly with the builder when we try and be your gatekeeper at that point, to where, you know, at this point right now, you're not really having to deal with that, because the reason you're here is you want to invest your money, not because you want to do what we do. It's like those insurance commercials or the tax commercials these days, when you're watching a football game or something that says, well, you could be doing this instead of doing your taxes. Well, that's our job, is to do this on the real estate and let you enjoy your life, so as we can go on, help you buy the property, transition you into property management, get your renter in there, and then just keep talking to you and say, hey, when are we doing the next property together? Help build your portfolio in the way that fits you. So let's look at the numbers on this one. Cost of entry. Believe it or not, the cost of this brand new house is $274,950. Great price. What we did here, we estimated 30% down. Initial repair costs, I put in there about $1,500. What that is most of the time these homes come with all new appliances, but maybe this one doesn't come with a refrigerator, so I put a little room in there. Maybe you need some blinds. These are some items that maybe need to be added. Maybe you need some window covering, some blinds, and maybe they do sod in the front yard and only part in the back. I know it sounds silly, but you know, that might just be how they have everything budgeted out. So you have a little bit of money in there. And then there's a couple of things with code. One thing that comes into mind is you'll on your deadbolts on your doors, Texas code says that you have to have a second deadbolt on there that can only be accessed from the inside. And so there's just a couple things in there. That's why we put that initial repair cost in there. It is a brand new home. Closing costs, this is estimated in there at 3.5%. I'll tell you why. That sounds pretty high. Well, in today's market, everybody's talking about interest rates and they want to get the best interest rates they can. If you look a little further down, we'll go back. That does give you the investment capital needed total there. I won't skip that. Gross rent, I did check the market today. It looks like this would be $1,700 in gross rent. But let's look at that mortgage payment. This is based on a 4.75% interest rate. We do have a preferred lender that we work with, and we've worked with for a long time. He's one of the top 100 loan officers in the United States. He's fantastic. He has so much energy. I don't know how he does it, but I think it makes me feel like the Kool-Aid man, where I just want to run through the wall after I get off a phone call with him, because Reed Hazard is his name. He has so much energy. He just gets me excited on the phone. So 4.75%. He has a 7/1 adjustable rate mortgage right now. That's fixed for 7 years. It does adjust after that. It's a great option to look into, because we're hoping that we're going to see interest rates come back down. Probably not as low as they were, but we're hoping they're going to come back down, and people are going to take their interest rates and hopefully refinance and get down even lower to help out their cash flows. So we're going to assume in this case scenario 4.75%. Some of that is included in discount points in the top there. So again, we're being conservative and we're adding that in, technically lumping that in with the closing costs. Taxes, I did go to the county on all these. Christina and I work in. We'll go to the county and put the taxes in there that we feel like where it's going to come out to. Now in Texas, it just really depends on when you close. Sometimes you get the first year pretty cheap, because if they've already passed, the first of the year, they already passed the point where, taxes can be protested, and taxes are still pretty low because maybe it was still just registered with the city as just the land not developed yet. You might get a year taxes a little bit lower. Insurance is pretty affordable out here. I would say on a house like this, it's probably going to be about $900 a year. We also have a great resource when it comes to the taxes. I mean, the insurance. that has done a lot of work. He's based out of California, but he does so many properties with us and helps our customers get great insurance rates. So we can always, provide another resource if you'd like to compare to who you might get your insurance quote with. And then on this one, our management fee is 8% for a single family. It's 8% if you have a multi-family property, more than one unit. We will change that management fee to 7%. HOA fee on this one, I did get the HOA from the builder, so $41.67 a month. Utilities and landscaping are on the tenants. So what we do here is we take all of this from gross rent. We have gross rent, and then we take all the payments, and that is your fixed monthly expenses. You'll see everything in parentheses in this section goes to $1659.29. Monthly income after fixed expenses, $40.71. So in this case, it's positive, and that's fantastic because in this time and with the way the economy is, if we have something positive, there's a ton of investors that are going on that. There's even investors right now that'll tell you, I'm willing to go $100 to $200 below. I want the investment. This is going to be a long-term investment for me. We're going to figure out your strategy, and we might be able to help you and say, okay, well, maybe instead of putting 30% down, we'll put a little bit more down to get where you want to be with those cash flows, and it can even get better as time goes on. What this calculator and this function right here in this financial analysis doesn't really take into account is interest. Not only are interest rates possibly going to go down where you can refinance to a lower rate, but you also have the opportunity to raise rents as well. So, this is a pretty conservative number. So after we have monthly income in green, below we're going to talk about variable expenses. The variable expenses consist of maintenance, vacancies, and then our leasing fee. And I'll be on the leasing fee, this is not the same as a management fee, it's different. So if you come to us and say, hey, I want to put my property in property management, when it comes to the leasing fee, this is the fee that's charged because we have a leasing agent come on to your property, make sure to get pictures. They advertise multiple platforms. We syndicate to multiple platforms all over. We do the showings. The leasing agents do quite a bit of work on your property to help you get, as many applications in, to be able to choose from the application to see which is going to be the best, and then helps get everything filed with our property management department, get all the way until the lease is signed and the tenant moves in. So quite a bit of work that goes on there. There's a lot of companies that charge 1 to 2 months rent. We normally charge on this, it's half of 1 month's rent. So the way that leasing fee is in there, it'll tell you there, this is assuming that you got an 18-month tenant come in there for 18 months in that lease, and that broke that 50% of 1 month's payment, which is $1,700, and they broke that up into 18 months. Now, keep in mind, if you are near an Air Force base and you have somebody who stays in there for 3 to 5 years, like their orders come out, that leasing fee just basically, we don't charge another leasing fee until somebody moves out of the property, and then we have to bring a new tenant in. So that's not an annual thing, and that number can go way down. So let's talk about the other two. We have maintenance and we have vacancy for the variable expenses. Again, we're going to be looking at these things throughout the process. This is a new construction home. I don't estimate that it's going to cost you $170 a month for maintenance. That's just an estimate there. We're just trying to make sure that you know that, hey, there may be some time, further down the line, maybe even 4 or 5 years down, where something needs to be taken care of, and we need to have property management take a look at it. Our property management is always going to take the perspective of, hey, let's go and take a look. If a maintenance request comes in, they're going to look at it. They're going to find out, is this something that maybe the tenant is responsible for? They're going to find out if it's something the builder might be responsible for. And if it is something that you have to cover, our team is very good about going in there on the maintenance side and deciding, hey, who's going to be the best contractor to do it? Who's going to do it in the right amount of time to keep the tenant happy? And who's going to get it done at a very, reasonable price, right? So these are contractors that we work with very well. And then the next piece is vacancy. So this is assuming right here that we have vacancies all the time. Well, the way I kind of look at this is if you buy a new property, and let's just say you close in the middle of January, and you're leveraging the property, you're not paying all cash, you're paying in, and you put 30% down and you finance the rest of it. Again, all of this, check with your bank, but good possibility that your first payment's not due until March 1st. So it's always our goal to try and get somebody in there before your payment's made. In these times right now, maybe one payment is made, but as much as possible to get you a renter in there as soon as possible. That's our goal. And, because as far as making property management fees, we don't charge property management fees if somebody's not in your property. That doesn't do us any good. We want to have skin in the game as well. So when you come to us as an investor, we know after we've made the sale, for us to get to the next phase, we need to find you a good renter that's going to stay in there. Doesn't do us any good to let that property sit, and it doesn't do us any good to get a tenant in there that is not going to perform. It's our job to make sure that your investment is working for you. So let's take a look. So we went over some pretty heavy detail on here. Estimated monthly cash flow. If you look below here, it's going to take your variable and your fixed expenses. That's a big, ugly negative number there. Again, maintenance, this is a new property. Vacancy, people love new properties. They like to move into them. They get a lot of attention. Leasing fee, let's try and keep you in an area where we can get some good tenants. All of these numbers you should be thinking about, but they definitely are not something you're going to see every month. So let's keep that in mind when we're thinking about that. We pay heavily to the attention of the number after fixed monthly expenses. That's positive. And then a little further down, and we'll go into more detail on this on the financial analysis when you can log into our website and we send you properties to look at. It's going to go into a lot of detail about the 15-year projected profit and then the 15-year annual ROI. So as you can see there, if you held this property for 15 years, it's estimating you're going to have a profit of 154, 214, 14. It doesn't show it here, but it will when you're able to log in later after you're working with us and you want to look at each specific property. But that 15-year projected profit it adds up your cash flows after both fixed and variable expenses. It adds up your appreciation. Then it takes out what it would cost like selling fees. And it tries to really give you a good number there of after everything happens there where you're going to walk away with profit. So pretty good. Annual ROI, 11%. So we're going to move on to the next property. I'm going to move through it a little bit faster. We're going to use the same format. As soon as I'm done with the single families, Christina's going to talk to you about the multifamily, the duplexes. So here's a different property. This one is located in Converse. Converse is a great little municipality just outside northeast of San Antonio, pretty close to where I-35 jets north going towards New Braunfels and Austin. That's a real popular area out there. One of the greatest things about Converse, it is right next to Randolph Air Force Base. The previous property we just talked about, right next to Lackland Air Force Base. Both of these are right by it. So again, let's look bottom or mid to bottom left here. This is a single family home, another B class, 5,184 square foot lot size, so pretty close to the last one we looked at. Built in 2019, 1,702 square feet of living area, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 149.82 square foot. So great property. Let's look at the right side here. Again, price $255, down payment 30%. Same percentage we're going to put there on closing costs. We're being conservative with that. Initial cost, same thing, $1,500. Going down, we're thinking rent on this one could be $1,750 on this one. Again, thinking 4.75%. Go down, taxes and insurance, all that's been figured. Management fees, same 8%. HOA on this one, I think was only $150 a year, so $1,250 a month. And utilities, landscaping, all that's on the customer. So fixed monthly expenses, $1,573.37. Monthly income on this one, a little bit nicer, like it. Again, same thing, we're gonna estimate 10% for variable for maintenance, which again, it's a new property, probably not gonna see that right away. Estimated vacancy, 10%. It's a nice, shiny, brand new home. People like these. They want to get in them. Great area. Again, leasing fee. We talked about that earlier. So estimated monthly cash flow after variable expenses, $221.98. And let's take a look here a little bit further down. 15-year projected profit, $158,809.73. 15-year annual ROI, 12.17%. So pretty affordable. So on this next slide, I'm going to pass it back over to Christina so she can talk about some of our new construction duplexes that we have actually gone out and done. We've worked really hard to build relationships with these builders that, coming from a construction background, I've been super impressed with. I work very closely with these superintendents on site. They know our expectations, but we work as a team with these people because we go in, help them, we bring them the clients, we help them close these out, we put renters in there. We're really working together really well with them. Christina can tell you how many subdivisions we've done. This has been a really successful part of our business here in San Antonio. So I'll pass over to Christina.
Thank you so much, Gerard. Thank you everyone for attending tonight. This is super exciting time of the market because it's stabilized now. So we are seeing a lot of activity just this past couple weeks of a lot of people inquiring and everything. And these brand new duplexes are everything that an investor needs. Pretty much after closing, you don't have to worry about doing anything with the property to make it rent ready. It's already got all the blinds included, all the landscaping, the fencing, garage door openers, appliances. It's got everything. So a lot of regular new builds, usually you have to pay for, the grass to get done after closing, or pay for blinds maybe, or add a fridge, stuff like that. These actually include everything. And this is an extremely popular area. It's located almost in between Austin and San Antonio, but it's called Seguin, and it's a suburb outside the northeast part of San Antonio. And it only takes about 30 minutes to get from Seguin to downtown San Antonio, and it's about 15 minutes from northeast part of San Antonio. So it's a part of the San Antonio surrounding area, but it's been growing super fast because of all the companies that are building there in Seguin. And there's a lot of manufacturing companies as well. And there's a packet online on our website that you can actually read all about Seguin and New Braunfels, the demographics, the type of employers, the top 10 employers. It's just been growing super fast. And then it's only 5 minutes away. It's right next door from New Braunfels, which is a high-end area. And since prices have been increasing so fast in New Braunfels, a lot of people are moving to Seguin because it's right next to New Braunfels, and they could still work in northeast part of San Antonio or Seguin or New Braunfels. So it's all, you have everything all around you where these duplexes are located. And we've already been working with this builder for almost, 8 years already. And this is probably the 6th community that we're working with. So they have proven success of their quality of build. So these are what they look like. They do have different colors in the front. Some are gray, some are light blue, but that's the front of a 1-story. And we also have 2 stories as well. Both run out just as fast. And then it just gives you a map of right where Seguin's located. Seguin, again, is located on the northeast part of San Antonio, about 15 minutes outside of San Antonio, not far from the highway. It's right near the major highway, IH-10. So it's a very high demand manufacturing area. And there's a lot of people that can't afford to rent out a house that's higher end, or they don't want an apartment. So these duplexes feel like a house. They get the garage, and it's affordable for them. The prices are market value, but it's affordable for these tenants that we're filling in. And that shows the plot map. It's actually not too big of a community, but it's got about 5 streets, but there's probably about a good 84 duplexes total in the community. And we've already closed out 70% of the community. So we only have our last phase left, which is like, I believe 14 duplexes left. So we'll go over that. But I just wanted to go over the cost of living and population growth in Seguin. Seguin has been growing super fast since 2010. There's a lot of technology businesses that are located there, as well as Caterpillar. They're one of the huge manufacturing companies there. And then there's Texas Lutheran University. And then there's that huge regional Seguin hospital. So we see a mixture of manufacturer workers, a lot of IT, self-employed, contractors, and then also a lot of school teachers. So we see a lot of those type of tenants, and they have basically essential workers that are in the middle class income, lower to middle class, which is perfect for this location and this cost of duplexes. And then there's been all these new homes surrounding these brand new duplexes that are brand new single family homes. And then more and more brand new development of other single family homes is happening in Seguin right now with other builders. And those are averaging around anywhere from 300 to 400,000 for a single family home in Seguin. So these prices of these duplexes are really good because they're right below 490,000. So this is a 1-story, and then I'll show you the 2-story. So they both have 3-bed, 2-bath. The only difference is the 2-story has a half restroom downstairs, whereas the 1-story just has 2 baths. But the 1-story does have higher ceilings. It's got 11-foot ceilings, so it feels like bigger when you walk into the 1-story, but both run out just fast because the 2-story has bigger yards, but they both look really great. But here's the 1-story price right under 490,000. These are all going to be ready to close, and then anywhere from 2 weeks from now to 30 to 45 days from now, just depending on the address, because we have an inventory of addresses, about 14 duplexes left to close out the community, and all of these can close within pretty fast, like 30 to 45 days. So that means you can lock in your rate, and then it's already towards the end of the community, so we're pretty much almost closed out, and then the rest is tenant occupied, which is nice. So it's not like all of its construction, a lot of it's completed already. So this is great. They're both the same exact floor plan for each unit. Both of them have 2-car garages. Both include the fencing, separate private fencing for the backyard, so they're not sharing a yard. Both have a private, the covered patios in the backyard as well. But these are really good. They're going anywhere from right now $1,525 a month rent to $1,650 monthly rent. And that is the range, but we are anticipating on increasing the rents to $1,650 in the spring, which is coming up like March, April timeframe, when it starts getting really busy. We just went to $1,525 temporarily because of the holidays. And then we're having a little bit of a cold, little winter storm right now. Not a storm, but it's like really cold and icy. So the traffic has still been good with people looking, but we're not going to raise rents into the 1,600 range until probably in the next month or so. So I think 1,525 is the low end, and then 1,650 at the higher end for the rental rate, projected rents for each unit on these. They are all renting out, no problems there. Like I said, most of the community is already tenant occupied, and we're getting a lot of calls with people wanting to look at them, wanting to find out when we have the next one ready to close. So we're getting good feedback on this. And then after all fixed expenses, the taxes, insurance, everything, you're actually going to be cash flowing, pretty good, around $240 a month. Keep in mind, 2 units, duplexes do end up cash flowing higher than single family because you get 2 units. But then also with variable expenses, it does come with the builder warranty. So it's not going to be as high maintenance. So we did lower the maintenance to 5%. The leasing fee is just that one time, which is just a half of the first month's rent. And that's only whenever we need to find a brand new tenant. So you may not have to worry about a leasing fee for a while. Maybe they're going to stay there 5 or 6 years. It's only when we find a new tenant. And then after everything, it's showing the negative, which is the fixed expenses, which you're not going to have every month, but it's factoring in maintenance, vacancy, and the leasing fee. It's around 291 negative, but again, you're not going to have that every month. Most likely, you're going to be in the positive over that 240. And then that 15-year projection profit, that doesn't take in consideration increases in rent, because we tend to increase rents each year as long as the rentals keep going up. And, 15 years, I'm sure the rent's going to be a lot higher than what we're going to rent it out this year. So it's assuming it's going to stay the same rent for 15 years. So that's also a very conservative amount, just to give you an idea on that. But yeah, this is a great property. And then we also have the 2-story. The 2-story is it's going to be about, the 1-story is 1373 square feet for each unit, and then the 2-story is closer to like 2,800 square feet, or I'm sorry, not that much, 1,790 square feet for each unit. So it's not that much smaller, but it's just, I would say it's more, you get more length on the 2-story for the backyard. The backyard's bigger. But some people like the 2-story better. It just depends. But all the bedrooms are upstairs on the 2-story. There's a half restroom downstairs, and there's the master bathroom has the bathroom for the master, and then the other bathroom is in between the 2 regular bedrooms. And then the washer and dryer connections are located upstairs. So that makes it easier so that the people don't have to go up and down the stairs for the laundry. It makes it so much easier. This one is priced a little bit cheaper than the 1-story. This one's like $5,000 cheaper. It's like $484,500. And then the rents, we're pretty much keeping the rents the same for the 1-stories and the 2-stories. I mean, they're so similar with square footage. It's just because they get bigger backyards on the 2-story. So we're pretty much keeping the rents the same. And then it's showing after all expenses, fixed expenses is around $265,000. So you get a little more cash flow on the 2-story, but it's pretty similar. And then of course your negative, it would still be less than $300 negative if you have a vacancy, maintenance, and a leasing fee that month, which you're not going to have every month. It's just giving you an idea what to make sure to have some reserves saved. It's always nice to have reserves saved. Just let it sit there in case you do have a vacancy or maintenance. And then this 15-year ROI is pretty good. It's over 15%. And then the 15-year projected profit, not including all the rental increases for that, the next 15 years, right under 370,000, which is really good. Especially with how things are going right now with the stock market, real estate, especially in Texas, has been really popular. And everyone's talking about it right now and asking us questions from other markets. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off now to Ashley, and she'll go ahead and close it out.
You guys, thank you so much. That was such great information. You guys, right here we have just a quick snapshot of our property management fees. We pride ourselves on being very, very transparent on what we charge for and how we charge. So you can see this broken down compared to other property management companies. This can also be found online, or if somebody else wants a copy of this, I'd be happy to send it through. We do. Why Marshall Reddick Property Management? You're going to get full access to our CRM integration between the property management software that we use, as well as our website and our client management. A lot of the property management companies that we have as competitors tend to have a conflict of interest when it comes to maintenance. The way that we run our maintenance for property management is different, and frankly, one of my favorite selling points of our property management company. We have a role here called a maintenance coordinator. We do not do in-house maintenance. So you're not going to have somebody from Marshall Reddick coming out to your property who's going to say, oh, these light bulbs need to be fixed, this drywall needs to be repaired, this roof needs to be fixed, and then they are charging you to do the management and the remediation of that themselves. What we are going to do is come back to our list of vetted, licensed, and insured, tried and tested vendors that we have. And then we are going to outsource that. We're going to get bids and we are going to bring that to you. So all you are paying for is what's actually showing up on an estimate. We're not going to be showing up and coming up with things to charge you money for. Cost versus service, which is more important. We pride ourselves on being kind of right in the middle ground. We are not the cheapest, but we believe that we are the best. We believe that the value that we offer is hands down worth the money that we have. We have another role within our property management that's a tenant coordinator. This syndicates with the software that we have for both owners and tenants, and it makes responsiveness very, very easy and the communication very traceable. You can see all of the collection of this through our online reviews. I mean, really, honestly, they speak for themselves. Our cancellation policy as well, very, very transparent, very thorough. You are welcome to fire us at any time. We work for you and we want to work hard for you. If you guys have any questions, if you would like to see this webinar again and go back and spend more time digging in on that, you can find this webinar within the next 24, 48 hours and a variety of others. All 4 of those services we offer on marshallreddick.com/learn. You can type in keywords on the top of that in the search bar there, and you can put in San Antonio, Austin. You can put in, oh my gosh, what does that private lending department look like? What does the mortgage fund look like? And there are educational videos throughout the entire website based on any sort of platform or expression that Marshall Reddick works in. We are on all of these variety of social media expressions here. Please connect with us. I will be reaching out, doing follow-ups with everybody who attended. We'll be sending emails. I know a lot of you guys have advisors that you're already working with. But I will follow up. I did make phone calls to, I believe, the majority of folks today, so you should all have my phone number directly, but we will continue to do so. We are so thankful for you guys, and that is it. If you have questions, please write them down, put them in the polls, and we will be in touch over the next 2 to 3 days. Thank you guys all so much for all of your time, and we look forward to serving you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Have a great night, guys.